I just wanted to apologize. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to apologize. I haven't been uploading all that much recently. That's because I've been busy with work, school, finding an internship, and just that whole process. So hope you guys can bear with me. I'll try to upload as much as I can and as frequent as I can. But let's go ahead and get the video started. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today, as you guys can tell, we're going to be working on the brakes and the calipers today, and let me show you guys what I got. So the first item is this Power Stop Track Day brake pad. So these are going to be the first pads I ever have that have a bedding requirement, which is basically trying to transfer this material onto your rotor, and I'll show you guys a picture of that right here. And I'm going to do the calipers, and obviously we need brake fluid, and I got .4 because it can handle higher heat, and just, you know, your basic brake parts cleaner, and also the rear rotor right here. So I'm only deciding to change the rears and not the fronts because I did those like less than 1,200 miles ago, and these are in dire need to be changed. So I don't know how well it comes on camera, but you see these lines and grooves. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but I took it to the canyon just to drive it, and the rear was getting shaky, and I already know it's because of these rotors that are pretty old and got to change them out. Alright, so I'm deciding to repaint the calipers for obvious reasons. As you can see, I did these a while ago, but there was no primer, no clear coat, and you could just excuse me, and you could just see it's starting to chip and fade. And I did these really quickly, so I only did half. As you can see, I only did half of the caliper, and I want to paint this whole thing. And yeah, you guys are gonna see by the thumbnail of what this is gonna look like at the end. But yeah, let me get the car jacked up and take off the wheels. Oh man, sucks when your car is low and you have to do so much work to put it up on jack stands. And I don't know, I might invest in those quick jacks. They're really expensive though. I think it was like 1,200 bucks just for the quick jacks, but honestly, if you have a really low car, I think they're worth it. And also the lugs that I got, it's kind of it's a two-step process instead of one. You know, I have to take out the middle piece, and then I have to unbolt this whole thing too. So, but I like these are steel, and I had some aluminum ones, but those ones felt really, like the metal was really soft, so that's why I opted to go out for steel. And it's really dirty under here. And we could see the cuts I made right there. The BC shocks look really good still, obviously a little bit dirty, but this is the part that I wanted to fix. So I painted these years ago, and yeah, I just wanted to do it quick and easy without taking off anything. And as you can tell, this is the outcome. So I only painted like 1/3 of the whole rotor, and no primer, no clear coat like I said earlier. And yeah, just over time this just started getting really bad. Alright, so I showed you guys that I had track pads earlier, and I'm leaving these street ones in because they're still fairly new. So, and I don't want to be putting track pads on this because it's going to be squeaky, dusty, and also those ones, I can't see it, but right there, they have an operating temperature of like 150 or 200 degrees. And obviously if you're involved in an accident or you see an accident in front of you, you want that initial grip that street pads have. So I decided not to put track pads on my car. I don't know, it's kind of a gray area. Some people are saying track pads are safe on the street, and some are saying, you know, you gotta use them strictly for the track, and street pads are for the street. And you know, I'm just gonna play it safe. And also some track pads require operating temp of it depends on what you get. I think mine is around 150 or 200 degrees, and that's just the bare minimum. So obviously I want to have that just safety of using a street pad. And also, this is a daily driver, so I don't want to be using a track pad, you know, every day where it's squeaky and dusty. So that's why I ended up using just sticking with the street pads, and once I go to the track, I'll eventually switch them out. So as many of you guys know, obviously if you're going to track your car, you should change these brake lines to steel ones. And I decided not to because when I was looking, it was $150. And I was just thinking, okay, I could spend that money on a helmet instead. And I'm not a professional or anything, so these should just do all right for the first couple times. So obviously if you're not planning to change your brake fluid, you don't have to take this whole caliper off. And I'm just deciding to because one, like I said, I'm changing the brake fluid, and two, I want to get full coverage on this and I want to make it look perfect this time. So yeah, I just have to do the other side over there, and then I'm gonna clean this up. All right, so it really helps to have another person with you, and my dad's helping me take out the rear ones. And let me show you guys the front right here, just how dirty and crusty they are. Look at these. So while he's doing that, I'm gonna start cleaning these up right here. So this took me about an hour and a half for all three of these just to strip them, but this was just not coming off in this area with the wire wheel. So I was like, you know, work smarter, not harder. So I got this paint stripper, and I'm just gonna sand this, not sand this, use the wire wheel on this for a little bit just to scuff it up. And it's not gonna be to this extent. So yeah, obviously you don't want it to go on your rubber seals right here. So what I'm gonna do is just tape this part off, as well as tape off the areas where your brake fluid goes in. So here we are 30-40 minutes later, and you can see all the paint's been wrinkling like this, which is a good sign. But this is the one that I did barely even touch, so let's see how much gets off with a little scrape right here. All right, not bad. So the next step is that I'm gonna wash these real quick, and I should get some of it off, but I know I won't get all of it off, and then I'm gonna hit it back with the wire wheel. So look at what they look like after. This is what they look like after the paint stripper and the wire wheel. Probably spent like 3.5 hours cleaning this, and this is as much as I want to clean it, to be honest. So doesn't look too bad. There's still some paint on there, but it's smooth to the touch, which that's all that matters pretty much. And the next step is going to be taping these areas off, and let's get to it. Alright, so this is what it looks like, and I decided to cover this part because one, you'll never be able to see it, and two, there's some areas where I couldn't clean it all the way from brake dust, so I don't want the paint flaking away. Let me show you guys how to cover a hole. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find a socket that fits that size, and you're going to put a piece of tape on it like this, and you're gonna use a blade and cut, and it should be able to cover your hole pretty nice. So I know it looks kind of weird that I'm taping it this way, and number one, I'm never gonna see it, no one else is gonna see it unless you watch this video. And number two, I was happy that I did it because I had enough paint, but I barely had enough clear coat to, you know, give it a full coverage and like an adequate coverage. So as later you'll see in the video, I'm actually happy that I ended up taping it this way. Alright, so this is what it looks like all propped up, and I have the size that I'm going to be showing because I want to make sure that I get the most paint on those. And this is the primer that I'll be using right here, this Rust-Oleum 2000 degree. And I have a mask, especially if you're in a garage, something like that, you want to have that. And I'm gonna be using a blow dryer to warm this up because it's a little chilly outside, not too cold, but obviously the colder it is, the thicker this is gonna be, and it might splatter. So I'm gonna heat this up real quick for a little bit and we should be good to go. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the third coat on there. That third coat was pretty thick. I actually almost had a run on this side over here, but it turned out pretty nice. So while that's drying, I'm gonna paint the bracket right here. And now that I know I have enough paint, I'm actually gonna paint the underneath sides first, because what I'm gonna have to do is, if I paint the top first, is that if I paint it like this, once it's painted, I'm gonna have to flip it over. And this is pretty much the side that shows, so I don't want to, you know, leave a mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and start painting the underside. So this is what the finished product looks like. There's some spots that I missed on the lettering, so I had to use the silver paint to cover it back up, but she turned out pretty good. Here's the other side right here. Alright, so the next step now is just to put clear coat on here. So one thing to note is I had enough paint caliper, but I barely had enough clear coat because I wanted to put a thick clear coat on here so it would protect the paint and not chip it, and also to make it look really glossy, and hope that I was able to achieve that. So if you guys want some more behind the scenes stuff, just give me a follow on Instagram. And also if you want to vote on future projects, go ahead and follow me on there, because my followers have voted for two things, which is this track spec hood vent and calipers, and I'm obviously going to be putting more stuff on there for you guys to vote on. And if you guys just want to message me, go ahead and follow me and I'll try to get back to you. So if you guys made it this far into the video, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, I'll try to keep uploading as much as I can, but I'm just super busy with just life right now, so just bear with me like I said earlier. But thank you guys so much for watching. The subs are growing, the views are growing, and I just can't thank you guys enough for that. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.